Hey, good afternoon, Manchester, New Hampshire, and all the surrounding area. We are here live with Norm, Lori, and Fred. But you're not Lori.
I'm not?
No.
Oh, good grief. Then I'm.
And you're what?
And,
Actually, my nuisance lady and my bossy lady, Kate McCurdy. And we have the honorable, if you'll introduce yourself to the people.
Hi, I'm Keith Hershman, the alderman of Ward 12 in West Manchester. Glad to be here.
And how long have you been alderman?
10 years of my life altogether. I had a stint of 3 terms in the 90s to the year 2002, and then I just completed 4 years. So 10
You
years.
enjoy it?
I am enjoying it. I wouldn't say that it's fun, but it's a calling that, I love my city and I want to get in there and work hard for our city.
That's the one thing that I have to say is like with you and the Honorable Bill Barry and the Honorable Keith, you two fight very hard for your awards.
Sure.
And this is what makes it, this is what makes it worthwhile to have people like yourself. I don't know too much about Ward 11 Alderman, so I can't make any comments because he's never
Norm
responded.
Gamache.
He's never responded back. But I'm honored to have you here.
Appreciate that,
Okay.
Norm.
Even isn't it a privilege to have these people come
it
in?
really, really is, because I think that, we all think in terms of our cities for the companies that we work for, and I think sometimes they don't realize that without you, that would not be a possibility, because it is you and the work that you do in the city that allow our firms to be successful. And that's just it's not a paid political announcement, no pun intended, but I do think that the support that industry gets from the city is very important in terms of their success.
Because you don't make a whole lot of money doing this, do you?
No. This is citizen government in its truest form. I mean, we're all 14 aldermen that are elected to serve with the mayor, and we work as a board. We work in our wards individually, but when we come to the Board of Aldermen, we work as a group. And it's the group think tank that runs this city. The simple majority rules in most cases, unless it's a big financial item, then we need like 2/3 of the board. There's rules in place to make sure the city is successful, in spite of sometimes we make mistakes or we go down the wrong path. And
by the way,
we're human.
I owe the Honorable Keith Hershman a big apology.
You do?
When I was at that meeting there, and I was just, wondering who the people were, what was going on with it, and all that. So on my show, I will humbly apologize to you.
I accept your apology. I don't remember exactly. I remember you bringing up the West Side, and I said, I got to meet this guy. We all love the West Side.
Yeah, I love the West Side.
Yeah.
I really do. And I got to say, what I'm excited about.
I'm a native of West Manchester.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm from Springfield, New Hampshire, moved to California, then come here, then here. And I feel this is my home. And I'm going to make there, and I'm going to do everything I can to make the West Side that great side it should be.
You're known as a psychic.
Right.
I don't know if it's psychic or not, but I knew as a young boy that I was probably 5th generation West Manchester, and I knew as a young boy that my calling was going to be, I'm going to stay in Manchester, and this is where I'm going to make my stand and, have my life. I knew as a young boy that I would be here. A lot of my friends, I went to West High and local colleges. A lot of my friends moved off to California and parts unknown. We just had our 40th reunion the other night, and a lot of people came home. And I'm kind of like, I don't mean to be weird, but I'm kind of like the George Bailey, the guy that didn't leave,
Right.
I really love Manchester, and Norm, there's fights, and Kate, there's fights that are really hard, but you go home, and the next day there's another fight. So
well, you can say you're doing your best to help improve Manchester.
Yes.
Mary LeMay, I guess there's something about her, there's a street problem or something there. I think she's probably talked to you and the alderman about it, and then try to put new lights or something. And I know she's going to call it.
I know she is too, and she's just so sweet.
And we love her, Julie. But I'm excited to see it. I like to think maybe my little voice, one voice can make a difference if you want
Absolutely.
to. You have to keep it. If I call the alderman or you was one time and then I don't call again, well, what the heck am I calling for? And so, so I was very persistent. I want to thank you and Bill Barry, Honorable for what is happening with the substation there, and they cleaned it all up, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. And now they're
Saw
gonna
the new
redo it.
railings going in.
Yeah, and a
so
lot of new
there you
changes
go.
coming in.
Yeah.
And I just think that I was part of it. I
You
hope
were.
I was.
You
know?
absolutely were. I've seen many times where one little person has a big voice, and people listen. And if it's doable, if there's money or if there's time and energy to put towards it,
Yeah.
it gets done.
Yeah.
Sometimes government moves slow. People
Oh,
don't like.
don't tap on the table anymore.
Is that the engineer telling me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking with my hands.
Yeah.
But-
you must be French.
No, well,
Oh.
maybe a little part of me.
No.
Yes.
No offense, folks. Well, you know.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I'm looking at with what we're doing, and I love where I live. I'm disturbed at how people do not take care of the park. And it's not the workmen, it's the
Is it-
people that,
Is it Sweeney Park you're talking
Yes.
about? Yeah, Sweeney
know,
Park.
and we have a great park and recreation department here.
We do.
really
We have to
do.
keep on them. To,
Yeah.
there's
And
certain
they-
things that fall behind. I
Yeah.
mean,
But I mean, they'll come and they'll clean up the basketball court. They'll clean up all, and they can look beautiful, almost as gorgeous as me. You know, but I don't know if anybody can top that. You know, you ask me, and I'll tell you.
so when I was a young boy, I grew up in that neighborhood
Did you?
where the Father Burns high rise is and
Right.
all that. I grew up the hill, and that neighborhood. Sweeney Park was there when I was young, but there was a place called Squag Fruit, which was the local store that everybody went to. And what I can tell you about that park is there used to be a pool there.
Really?
There was a pool right in front of St. Raphael's. There was a
Yeah.
little cement pool, and back in the 1960s, they had a problem with I think it was ringworm or something like that. The pools weren't like they are nowadays, all high chlorination
Right,
and everything.
yeah.
So they kind of filled that in. But when I was a little kid, there was a pool there, and behind with it, the World War I statue of the
Right,
the
yeah,
fallen Mr.
right.
Sweeney.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I can't, I'm not saying that it's all the best. I'm not saying, but I just like it where I live. I have a nice home there.
Are you right along the park there?
Yeah, right. I live right across the street from the
Clinton
park.
Street or which street?
On Walker Street.
Walker Street. I know Walker Street.
Right
yeah.
across the street from there. And I could tell you stories, but we won't.
I was a poor West Side kid. I lived up on Granite Street, and I used to walk home from West High. Some of my buddies lived on Walker Street that I played football with.
We have a lot of integration on that street, people from other countries and all that. And in my building, we have, I think, 3 or 4 different countries that live in my building. And you know what? We all get along.
I want to report my neighborhood, which is up in the northwest corner.
Right.
I'm happy to report that my neighborhood is wonderful. The people that live across from me are from Vietnam. There's a fella from China, and there's actually another person from, I think they're Japanese. So there's all different. We get along great. We're all good neighbors, and so hey, we're a melting pot for sure.
And I love it, and we all talk to each other. We say good morning to each other, and once in a while have a cookout. As you know, we had some people came, and
Well, you guys might be having more fun than me.
we are, we are.
A lot that day.
Yeah. If you go in there with a good energy, that's the main thing. You got to have the positive energy with the people. They also know when the kids play the basketball in the parking lot, it hits my window, and they know that I have a very loud voice, and they can hear it 4 blocks away.
Trying to sleep.
Yeah. Well, I'm concerned about
Yeah.
broken windows and stuff too.
Yeah.
And anyway, Keith, what made you decide to run for? You said you took a.
I'm 58 right now, so I was a young guy. I was 31 years old, and I bought a single family home. And
No tap?
The tapping. I noticed in my little neighborhood that once I bought my home that there was a landfill, and it was open, and there was seagulls flying around, and it was a little unkempt at the time. There was some blowing trash. So I was pushing the local officials. I said, well, when are you going to close the dump? And they all said, oh, we can't close the dump. And I said, oh, yeah, we're going to. So I kind of became a little activist and got elected to close the dump. And within a couple of years, the dump was closed. And then once you're in there, there's some other, thing to fight. And you're always trying to work hard to make the city better.
Yeah.
And that's what it was about. It was about local issues.
How does your wife put up with you?
Well, yeah, that's a good one. Betty Jean has weathered a few storms of running for alderman. That's not always fun to run for alderman.
No.
Campaigns are contentious.
Right.
Someone's going to win and someone's going to lose.
You used a big word.
And
I know, but I know what it means.
and people fight for their
Yeah.
position. So, I've been the guy, I've won a few and I've lost a few. And I didn't give up hope when I lost. I said, I probably deserve to lose. I didn't put my best foot forward. And other times I've been lucky enough to win. So I have lost some races too,
One of the things I truly believe in
Yeah.
is the spirit puts us where we're supposed to be.
was gonna say.
When we lose, it has to be for a reason. Maybe you have to bring up your methods a little bit more, your beliefs are stronger power,
So-
whatever.
For any of the viewers out there that are young people that want to get involved in Manchester and make Manchester better, I'll tell you this. When I was a young guy, I took it personal. I ran and I put myself out there. But really, if you lost, you have to run again. It's not about you personally. It's about your ideals and how you're going to handle Manchester. I lost, and I wasn't going to run again when I lost. And someone told me, "Hey, you got to do it again. You'll win." Really? I won.
Well, for an example, look
yeah.
at Glenn R.J. Olet.
You got to keep trying if you want to do
He's
it.
very persistent, you
Yeah.
know. Maybe someday we'll look at it and maybe he'll win, But you can't, like he loves Manchester.
He does.
You got to give him credit for that,
He consistently comes down and gives his viewpoints, and those words aren't written down,
Nope.
but the aldermen hear it, and there's a lot of mental notes taken, and he's impacted some change, and so have you.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're gonna, if people truly like the city, they're gonna fight for it. Now, are you running? Are you running on any type of? Are you on the Republican ticket or independent ticket?
I'll describe myself as this: I was a young man. In my first election that I could go out and vote, it was Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter, and Ronald Reagan resonated with me. He says, "Hey, we're going to take things back. So that's the guy. This other guy, I wasn't too excited about. So I became a Republican. I didn't even know what a Republican was back then, but I know that I'm one, and I have never changed. There are days that I say to myself, I want to be independent. I'm elected as a nonpartisan, so that when you're on the ballot, it doesn't say Republican or Democrat,
Right.
but obviously you're one or the other, or you're independent.
Yeah.
I've never, pushed that stuff. It's just who you are.
One of my biggest POs is that when you go to the primary, you
Yeah.
either have to say you're Republican or Democrat
In a state election
in the state election
Yeah.
for the primary,
or presidential.
Yeah, and I really resent that. I don't, because I like to consider myself an independent who's going to vote for whom I choose to be with, and I just don't feel that I should have to say I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat.
See, I have the same issue with that because
And that's how city elections are.
Right.
You see the names, and
Right.
if you did your homework, you know the names on the ballot, and it doesn't have any affiliations. On a local level, we're very close to the voters, and I think that's for the best. When I was a younger guy, I didn't know, but I think that it's nonpartisan is really the way to go.
Yeah. Now, do you all? You all have. I know you're on different parties with affiliation, but when you have meetings and you discuss it, you don't allow the Democrats are going to do it this way or the Republicans are going to do it this way. You vote the way your conscience feels.
There is nobody telling me. There is no mothership over my shoulder telling me what to do. My conscience guides all my votes, and my constituents, they're my sounding board. They'll tell me if I'm not doing a good job, and for the
they're
most
not
part,
afraid to, are they?
they reach out. They call my home. They email me. There's so many ways to get a hold of you. They get you at the corner store.
Yeah.
I'm pretty visible. I'm one of those guys. If I'm out and about, I'm shopping in Manchester because I want, I'm a
right.
And one of the things that I do like is I'm doing a psychic event for Healing for Healthy Paws. I actually got it right.
I know.
And that's why I have a co-host, because I never get things right. I don't remember. And I use big words. I look at my co-host, who is Lori, and say, I got it right. Well, what we're doing, we're starting a new foundation for people like it. they get near a pet, like you have a dog or a cat that
Yeah.
gets sick and they can't afford the vet, we're going to pay for
Oh,
it.
that's wonderful.
You know,
yeah, we're big animal people.
Oh, the paperwork you have to go through, not only with the state, but with the
To
government.
become a nonprofit
yeah,
to do that.
Yeah, and you have to get approval, I guess, from the city, too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I'm going to be checking out. Oh, I'll be giving either you or Bill a call to
So
help me
you're
there if I have to.
Forming what they call a
Right,
501c,
yeah, something like that, yeah, you know.
nonprofit. You're going to raise money
You're right.
and you're going to help animals. That's an admirable thing. I have 2 pointer dogs and I love my dogs.
Yeah. I have a little short-haired terrier Chihuahua. She has a little one that's Timmy. She has I got to tell you, she has probably 2 closets full by now. Closets full of clothes for her dog.
I do.
If you're, I don't want to disparage anybody, but if you're a pet person, I think that you're have more empathy towards
Yeah.
animals and life forms. And I love animals. My
Yeah, I
my
do.
wife does too.
And
Timmy's
the
great.
thing is,
Yeah.
you know and I know that if you have a dog or a cat that is sick and you don't have the money, the veterinarians are not going to take charge of you. And that's so sad. Back in the days when I was younger, you know.
So psychic ability, okay?
Yeah.
I never really thought I had any psychic ability,
We all do.
We all do.
but I found out mine's delayed. I'll think of something, and it's usually about 3 days later that the thought that was in my head either came true or went by or something happened. I'm on about a 3-day delay. I've never had a psychic ability that something's going to happen today, but
That's not your fault.
I've had a thought, and sure enough, like within 24, 36 hours, a couple
Becomes
days.
true.
You have to, a lot of times you will ponder the things to see if they're going to happen.
So I used to think, well, I have the little coincidental
And actually-
memory.
Are they
Yeah.
visual?
Yeah.
Do you see something, or is it the thought and the words in your mind?
Just kind of a thought.
That's excellent.
You're,
Shuffles.
and it happened this week too. And
Everybody.
Can you share?
And I will reiterate this
No, I
again.
don't know.
Okay.
because
I'm using a big word.
Okay.
But everybody has, and I want to reiterate it again, psychic ability. I don't care who you are, they have psychic ability.
so I call it a keen sense of intuition
Okay.
with a little delay.
Yeah. There you go. I like
Yeah,
that.
I like that.
She was my hardest student.
There you go. You're shuffled
Yep. Okay.
and you're raring to go,
And I'm still as hard as
Are you ready?
as ready as I'm able to be.
I'm going to ask you, who was the lady that you were very close to that passed away?
Recently,
There's no time.
my mother.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. May I give you a message from her? It's up to you.
Do I want to give her a message?
No. She wants to give you a message.
Oh, she probably read me the riot act.
Well, we'll see what happens. It's all up to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the things I want to tell you is she
Yeah.
appreciates your hard work that you're doing, and she's very proud of you. I
appreciate
do
that.
know that she was very firm in whatever she told you to do something. And if you didn't do it, you were in a lot of trouble.
Boy, aren't you right?
Okay? And I also will tell you that she loves you and your children and your family very much.
I can
I
say
also
that.
will tell you that there is no pain or that she's on the other side. Did she drink tea?
Wow, yeah.
Okay, 'cause she's drinking a cup of tea. She talking.
Our household was a tea household.
Yes.
And
Yes.
she also was a good cook when she wanted to be, she said. She said when she wanted to be.
Sunday mornings growing up, I grew up in a poor little German neighborhood
Yeah.
on the west side, and our house, the windows would be steamed because she was cooking German food.
Yeah.
And I was the young American kid that wanted to run out and play with my friends. I didn't want to be stuck in there in a steamy. But my mother did do that on Sundays. She cooked a lot on Sundays.
And she said she always won.
She always won.
Yeah, in other words, when she wanted you to do something, you...
Oh yeah,
But you have a lot of... And to this day, you still have a lot of respect for your mother.
I love my mother. Yeah, my mom was my mother. I got to tell you this. My mother was my mother and my father. I was raised in a single mother home.
Okay.
Okay.
And she did a great job. Did
So-
you have brothers and sisters as well?
No,
You're an
just
only
me
child?
and mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was a hard worker, too, wasn't she?
And she was.
And she never let her poverty level, excuse the expression, but you know what. This is what she's telling
Yeah.
me. Put her down. She went out and she provided for you the best she knew how.
And she did do that.
Yeah. And she taught you how to be responsible. What is there about a thimble? Was she a sewer or a seamstress?
I remember thimbles, but I don't remember anything special about
Okay,
them.
because I've seen a lot of thimbles here. I'm
Yeah.
also seeing that she was, her house was always open to people coming in.
Some people.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she
But when
was-
they came into her house, she treated them with respect.
She did. I can remember a few people sitting on our couch all day long, sure.
And she wasn't afraid to clean. She was a spotless housekeeper.
She was okay, Ma. Sorry, Ma.
She loves your
Yeah,
wife,
yeah.
just to let you know.
Yeah, she
But it
did.
took her a hard time to get, because remember, you were her baby boy.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah.
took her wife a hard time to win her over, okay? But she actually is very happy. She's with your grandparents.
Oh, I would expect that,
Okay.
yes.
And I'm also seeing that there's a dog there.
Oh, my first dog, Chewy.
Yeah, okay.
He
And
actually
they're all
went-
sitting, and she actually, and she's humming.
When my mother was passing,
Yeah.
the CMC allowed me to take my dog Chewy, who we had for 15 years, and she loved him, and take him into the hospital, and he saw her and said goodbye.
Oh, bless their hearts. That's all.
So
that's
I wouldn't be
Well,
surprised
I
if
would
he
let you
was
know
with
now.
her, if
Yeah.
there's a heaven, and that's where they are.
The
Yeah.
dog is with her,
That's great.
okay? What, your dad, you didn't know your dad? not gonna go
I
into that.
got to know who he was, but yeah, that was a.
Why don't you take out
yeah.
5 cards? Don't look at it if you take out 5 cards from anywhere.
You want me to pick out 5 cards?
5 cards. Don't
Okay,
look
I'm
at them.
left-handed, so
That's all right.
and
That's
my
a good
favorite
sign.
numbers are odd.
All right. 5 and 7 are your 2 numbers you should like.
Am I supposed to look at these?
No.
So I'm not supposed to cheat. Or maybe one more thing.
You've been married a long time, huh?
I have. 37 years.
You're
How's
going to
that
make it
sound?
to 67. What do you think of that idea?
Wow. Okay, I do have 5.
Okay. You're going, and actually, I see your lifestyle, and I'm not trying to be rude when I say that. You've got to lose this. Because I want to see you make
How
it
are
to
we going
99.
to do that?
You're going to do that by not being so stressed out.
Well, then I'd have to
Okay.
retire.
You have to change it. You're gonna have to change your diet a little bit.
I've eaten a couple devil dogs. Okay.
No, that's not a good diet.
Oh,
A couple, I
understand.
said.
Yeah.
I understand. Trust me. They were in my house, too.
I can't say anything. Mine are Wise potato chips.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like those, too.
I still like tea, though. I'm still
Tea.
sticking with the tea.
All right. One other thing I'm looking at with you too, don't give up on your political career. I would also suggest, assuming that you should run for a higher level like the state legislator or whatever. I think you'd be very good because you have, I don't know, this is your mother again, tell me, you have a voice that doesn't quit.
Probably have that.
In other words, what it's saying to you is that when you believe in something, you're going all the way with it.
What do they call that? Stubborn?
Yes.
It's
Okay.
focused.
I also will tell you, spiritually, you have your own spiritual beliefs. Don't worry about what other people think. Okay? Financially, there's some more improvement coming.
Yay!
Yeah, we could always use improvement.
We could
okay?
always use improvement.
I'm also seeing, there's someone that is very well known to you that's not doing very well, and it could be an uncle or a relative or something like that. I'm looking at, he's like in his late 60s, early 70s, that you may be going to say it's okay that he can pass. I think you already know who it is.
I do.
You have
He's-
2 children?
He's 87.
Okay.
The
he's
gentleman
passing
you're
soon.
thinking about, and I've been worried about him. But yes, I have 2 of the best children.
Okay. You have
They're
a boy and
grown.
a girl?
A boy and a girl. They're grown, and my son has 2 children, so I'm a papa.
Uh-huh.
And
Aw.
my daughter has 2 dogs.
Yeah. 2 dogs, okay. But is your son interested in politics?
I would say
Because
he's
he's
learned a
been
lot of
yoker.
politics from
Yeah.
Dad, and he prefers not to be involved.
Well, there's going to be a big change coming to him.
Yeah.
I actually see him going into the political field.
Well,
Not as ambitious as you are, Dad,
Yeah.
but more into it. But he's also got a keen eye. He's a very intelligent young man.
he is, and he tells me all the time.
Yeah. Like father, like son. I also
he's a
will
good
tell
boy.
you that your daughter, she loves her life. She has a great life.
She
And
does.
she's a very happy person.
She is a very
That's because you have
very
given, you
lovely
and your wife
person.
have given them the love that they need.
Yeah.
But you were pretty strict at times, weren't you?
Yeah.
Your wife was more. You push it.
I think there were days when there were children. There were days that wait till your father gets home type of thing. But yeah, I usually just gave them a look. I didn't have to.
You don't have to be
just,
kids.
Just that look, and they knew. They were psychic.
Your mother said, "You know what it is to get smacked."
My mother gave me that look.
You also got smacked too.
Stop a train.
Yeah, but I probably deserved it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what? For all the people that say you can't get smacked or whatever, I lived through it.
My mother
I also
was.
will tell you that, but so you got a big you put in a fire alarm system.
I do all kinds of alarms. Yeah.
Well, you
for
got
years.
a big contract coming up.
Another one. I wanted a break.
No break for you.
No break for me.
No.
I've
Not
been
if you wanna
working.
keep that, you're
I've been
okay.
working very hard. In fact, I'm not all dressed up. I'm a working alderman. I own my own little company, and I was on ladders today. In fact,
You won't catch me on a ladder.
but you know what? God willing, I'll keep going, and things will stay good.
And then God's will is your will. And once again, I'm going to reiterate that your mother is very proud of you. Okay, I use that word again.
You
I'm
do.
getting better.
You are always great.
Yeah. One of the things and it could be within the next 4 months that your friend is going to be passing. Okay, and you have to be the one to tell him it's okay.
I have to be. I have a very strong connection with my mother's brother.
Okay,
He has his own children, but he reaches out to
but
me.
you have better connection
Yeah.
with him,
Yeah.
and it really is up to you. You have to say you give him the choice. It's okay because his family members they're there, but they're not there. They're going to be really weepy and all the poor me and all that. But you have to be the one that's solid with him. Okay, and I would probably encourage you to keep in more contact with him because right now he feels like he's all alone.
Yeah.
Is he a widow? Widower?
He lost his wife in January.
Oh.
Yeah.
And she's ready to call him home.
Mm.
Okay. And like I said, you're going to be around for a long time. You're
I am?
Yep. You're going to be around till you're like 99 to 100 years old.
Oh, you're making me rethink, Norm. I just got a financial thing in the mail, and they want me to take a pension lump sum. And if I don't take the lump sum, what if I live to 90? I should keep the long. Oh,
I would really evaluate it before you
Yeah.
take the lump sum because I don't want to see you losing money.
yeah. Thank you for
Okay,
that.
So I would encourage you to reevaluate everything. And your wife and you are going to be living together for both periods of time. And actually, I will tell you, I see you crossing in your sleep in your own room, in your own bed.
That's where I want to be.
You don't want to sell your house, right?
No, Chris Herbert's not dragging me out.
Me either. Boy, you, right?
If you heard
I'm
that
73
story.
and I'll be 72.
Yeah.
I'll be 72, and usually I tell you my wife 34.
Well,
you know,
Okay.
but you know what? You're only as young as your heart feels. You know, one of the things I do see you and your wife going on a cruise.
Well, Norm,
Okay.
we went on a cruise,
Yeah.
and my plan is never to go on another cruise
Sorry about that.
because I went out of Boston to Bermuda in March, and the Atlantic Ocean is ferocious in March, and I do some silly things. That was a silly thing. I went out of the port of Boston, and the waves were 20-foot waves, and I was
I'm
sick.
telling you, you're going on another cruise.
So my poor wife, whose health isn't what it should be, took care of me for 3 days to get to Bermuda. I was sick, very sick.
I'm telling you, you're going on another cruise, but a different area.
Yeah.
To be kicking and screaming. Well, if my grandchildren were on it, maybe I would go.
Yeah. I'm actually looking at
Yeah.
big.
The
Okay.
bigger picture.
How old are your grandchildren?
I have a 7-year-old little grandchild who I march in the parades with,
Okay.
and a newborn.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Your 7-year-old is going to
Exciting.
follow Grandpa's footsteps in the political world.
That would be marvelous. He's a smart little boy.
Okay. I also will tell you that your 7-year-old is going to make a fantastic attorney.
Attorney. Wow.
You have taught your children good values in life. Not always the best sometimes the way you do it, but it comes out okay.
Probably stated well.
Right. When you were in school, you weren't the most studious student in the world. You did okay. I'm not saying you were a bad
I was
student.
one of those kids that, and this is being honest.
Yeah.
In the lower grades, I was there and I was doing
Yeah.
marginal. In high school, they had all the trades at West High. I liked the trades, and I studied drafting. And there was a teacher that took a shine to me, so I did better. But sports, I wanted to play sports, and the coach said, if you don't get good grades, you're not playing sports. So, well, I became a good student. So I actually made the honor roll junior, senior year. I worked
By
hard.
the skin of your teeth.
Honor roll.
Okay. Yeah, and that's a good thing.
But
one other thing I'm also, your wife is also a very intelligent lady. You
She is
can't
a
fool
smart
her, so don't even try, you know.
She's a smart
And
lady.
one thing I'm going to tell you is about you is you cannot tell a false story because your ears are going to turn red.
Well, you must have talked to my aunt.
And then you
Yeah.
get all nervous, okay?
Yeah.
I also see you being appointed to another committee.
Another one?
Are you on the police commission committee now?
Not yet.
Are you ready to be?
When I'm not an alderman, sure.
No, you're going to be both.
Somehow.
Like,
Okay.
like I said, I see you with at least 5 to 10 more years as an alderman. Because this is what you love. I would love to see you as either a state senator
No.
or a state rep.
I was a state rep for 2 years. I got elected for your ward, Ward 10, 11, and 12. The 3 West Side wards elected me in 2004. And I went up to Concord for 2 years. And it's difficult for someone like myself that has a business.
Yeah.
But I wanted to try it and put my best foot forward. My cup of tea is more City Hall
Yeah.
and local than up there.
I don't see you running for mayor.
That is a partisan
Yeah.
world up there where there's actually leaders that come down and tell you how to vote.
Yeah, and that's so wrong.
That's
Yeah,
not
and,
good.
I don't see you running for mayor.
I had considered it. Mayor Gatsis was running for governor.
Yeah.
And if he had won his primary, I was going to entertain that thought.
See, a lot of problem there, Gas, and I like him. I think.
But
he's
he
a great
didn't
mayor.
win,
He
and
earned
so
himself.
he's, the mayor, and he's going to run again. He's announced.
I'm not sure because
Yeah.
of what that cover up when the school board garbage, and it is garbage as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I'm not. It's something that shouldn't have happened, but I do. There's enough blame to go all.
There's a
around.
lot of blame, and that story is kind of fresh, so I don't know all the
Yeah.
details, but I don't believe for a minute the phone call conversation that was described
I don't either.
in the newspaper. I don't believe that.
I have a lot of respect for the mayor.
I do too, and has spoken the truth on many issues.
You also have someone
A lot
that
of
you
blocked
may
face
know.
cards there, huh?
Yeah.
What's
You
going
also
on?
have somebody that you know that has a major heart problem.
Could be.
And guess who I'm looking at?
No.
You got to lose weight, dude.
I'll take your advice,
You really let's avoid the heart problem.
but I don't have a heart problem.
You
but-
will if you don't
Oh.
lose.
Norm,
You have a.
I'm going to tell you, my circle of friends, and you can hear this too, my
Yep.
circle of friends, the ones that were telling me to lose weight,
Is that right?
they're on the other side.
Yeah.
Telling me to lose weight now.
And I want you to. You got to lose some weight, but you got to do it when you're ready.
Well,
The main thing I tell people, like the cigarette smokers, I won't mention
Yeah.
names, but like the
That's how
cigarette,
you and I met. I was outside.
Yeah.
True.
the cigarette,
smoking.
yeah,
Yeah.
cigarette smokers. I gave up 4 years ago. Actually, I get hypnotized right here, for cigarette smoking on my TV show.
That's something I never did, but
And I won't give up my pot though. They already know that. I mean, But 4 years ago, I get hypnotized in May, and I haven't had a cigarette since.
there
My
you go.
roommate, neither one of us, anybody smokes in my house, I have a big sign,
Yes.
don't I?
Yes, I go outside.
And her and my daughter-in-law go outside.
Are we
But-
ready for a straight or a flush?
There you go. And the one thing, if you don't lose the weight, you are going to have a major heart problem.
Okay.
You're not going to die, but it's
Point
gonna steal
taken.
you.
Okay.
And he doesn't give
Oh,
up.
I also-
a red card. There we go. Now things
Yeah,
are
there you
moving
go.
along.
You got a lot of your son. Oh, what does your son do? Does he work with you?
No, he's a general manager of a company. He went to college and he's managing a company.
He's got a new position coming up if he wants it.
Yeah, I think he might own that company
Yeah,
pretty
that's
soon.
what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
A new position, and it's going to pay off. And Dad, you're going to be a big supporter of him. So
There
okay.
you go.
And the one thing that I like about you is that if they're doing something that you don't agree with, you're not afraid to tell them.
We have
And
heart-to-heart
The
talks.
same way with if he
Yeah.
doesn't agree with what you're saying or doing, he also will say it to you as well. Okay. I
We
definitely
do that
see
over
you-
the phone, not one-on-one.
No.
Over the phone.
Yeah,
better.
okay. But I also will tell you, you are going on a cruise. No doubt in my mind, it's going to take
You know,
another
that's
3 years.
really gonna be something to work on.
Boy, am I
because-
going to laugh when I hear you going. You're going to. Then I also see you doing some traveling around the country as well. You and your wife are going to do a lot of traveling.
I was so sick on that cruise that the dining room was over the engine.
Oh,
The screws. It was a huge 11-story cruise ship, right?
Yeah.
The silverware on the table was rattling,
sure.
and I was sweating.
You
And I had to get out of there. I said, I can't do this.
You got on a bad ship. That's all.
The Atlantic
But go to-
Ocean. Yeah.
But I also
Yeah.
there's something about you going to Hawaii. You ever been to Hawaii?
No, my wife's been, but I have not been to Hawaii.
Okay, 'cause that I will tell you guys, and the thing is,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things right here in New Hampshire that we can see.
Yes.
Like I've never been to the White Mountains, but I'm going to try it. I don't do a lot of traveling either, but I got to.
You better get on one of those tour buses and get up there.
Yeah,
It's beautiful
you
up
know.
It
there.
is gorgeous. It's very beautiful up there.
You don't want to sell your home, right? Move to
No.
another house because you're going to be off of it. The area you're living in is a good area.
It is a nice area. You know, I bought my house 1991, and I said, I was a young guy. I was 31 probably. And I said, oh, this is where we're going to make our stand. And I want to be the guy that puts my head on the pillow, and that's where I'm at. I don't want to.
You don't like a lot of changes.
Well,
You have
if
to
it's for the
yeah.
common good,
Yeah,
yes.
But you have to weigh it all out. Is it
Yeah.
going to be beneficial to you, or is it not going to be beneficial? Well, once you make your mind up and doing the right thing, then the only thing I want to tell you, Keith, is that nobody's going to change your mind. But if you're wrong, you'll be the first one to admit you're wrong.
Am I getting a new vehicle?
Not right away.
Smart there.
There again, there comes the old chair. I would say I would wait until spring.
Good advice. Yeah.
Your wife might ponder. Is your wife watching, by the way?
I told her Channel 23 at 4 o'clock, and you could see it. It should be
Give us a
amazing.
call.
She didn't know you were a psychic. But
Oh.
Betty Jean, Norm's a psychic.
Yeah. I mean, very well internationally known, seriously. Okay, if you go to my website or whatever, like I said, I have a guy that came in this morning from Kenya. You gotta, you love what you do. You like working out with the public, meeting the public. You like the political world.
I
You like
do.
putting in the alarm systems or whatever, because that alarm system saves a lot of people's lives.
I take pride on that.
Okay.
So here, I'm going to give you my spiel.
Okay.
Right.
So a doctor is going to work on you, and he's going to save your life. And he's very admired because he saves lives. When I work on a building, I have the potential of working on a building that could save 400 lives. So I'm Dr. Hershman in the alarm world.
There you go. I like that.
I
do
like
too.
that.
Because there again, you take pride.
I do, and I
You know.
don't know if that's an ethnic German thing, but you know,
No, it's your
I-
own thing. Your
Yeah,
mother
it's
said that she taught you well.
She did.
One of the things I'm also going to tell you as well, I do see two big contracts. You might have to hire some other people to work with you.
Oh, and I don't like that.
Well, sorry about that. Let's put it
yeah.
this way. The state of New Hampshire business tax and the government tax is really going to like you.
Like me or
Yeah.
hurt me?
They're going to like. Well, they're going to hurt you, but they're going to like the money they take from you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're too honest to
That's
be.
part of doing business.
Yeah.
I
I know. Uncle
someone
Sam
else.
likes me.
Somebody else got tripped up recently, huh?
Yeah. We won't mention the name.
Yeah.
You know what? I see him take it off.
What's that?
I see him take it off.
Well, he was born overseas, so that wouldn't be too
I
surprising.
wouldn't know me also. You got another big one. I'm not going to say on TV, but we got another person that's going to come crashing down.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
No, they asked for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. One of the things I'm looking at in this city is there's a lot of shakeup coming on with the so-called big, powerful
Mhm.
people that make a lot of investments, and they're starting to crash. They're starting to lay down. And what's going to happen? The city's going to start coming down, but then all of a sudden, there's people like you and Bill Barry and all the other aldermen, hopefully, that also that they can look at it and say, wait a minute, what are we doing wrong? Let's change this around. Let's make it for the business people to come in. Let's make it for working class people, which you've always
We
tried to
do
do.
have to do that.
Okay, everybody's all about the high tech right now, you know. But what about the people who haven't the knowledge of high tech, the working class people, you know, the people who are not going to make 100,000. She makes 300,000, but the people that make 100,000 a year, what happens? You know, the people who you still need your dishwashers, you still need your ditch diggers, you still need your medical field, you still need all this, and when you start going into high tech, okay, more power to it. But I will also tell you, all this high tech that we have today, with all the radiation that's in the world and the earth, one button will crash everything down. And I truly believe that. There's a small country just outside of Russia that almost like I can visualize it right now like a mad scientist. All it takes is one hit, and it can destroy 3/4 of the.
Well, with the internet, it's global, and there are nefarious, bad people in other countries that can steal your identity. They can get into your internet to get all your information. There's a lot of bad things that can happen.
By the way, folks, just a warning that the thing called Microsoft will come on and say there's something wrong with your computer.
Yeah.
1888 or
Could be a fraud.
And it's a fraud. I challenged him. I said, so what? And he's from I think he said it was one time they called him from Canada, the other one was from the Philippines.
I just got a call saying that my college loan is overdue. And I said, college loan?
Yeah.
I'm 58 years old. I don't have a college loan.
Exactly.
There's all kinds of fraud. Yeah, so it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I had a lady call me and tell me that my MasterCard, like you just said, my MasterCard payment was overdue. And I go, I've never had a MasterCard. You know?
Keep checking.
And I said, what if I called a Better Business Bureau? How would that work? Or then I get these people, congratulations, we can drop your credit rating, your credit card rating down low. And so I asked them if they have a certain, I won't say it on the air, but card. One other thing I'm also looking at, you have another grandchild coming.
So I got 6 cards out. Now that's a 7th card.
Yeah.
Another black one.
And that could be within 14 months of these people here. Okay. But first,
You think I'm having another grandchild?
Yep.
Well, wouldn't that be
Yeah,
amazing?
it's going to be a little girl.
Because we just had a girl
Okay. Well, you got another little girl
Congratulations. How
coming.
long ago?
10 days ago.
Oh, well, that's fabulous. That's wonderful news.
Beautiful little
Your
girl.
daughter married?
She is.
She could be the one I see with a child.
That would be nice.
She's
Because
either
they have
gonna
been
one or she's
unsuccessful
gonna-
up to this date.
That's right.
Yeah.
Timing.
Yeah.
So that would be amazing.
It's going to be a surprise visit, shall we call the stork is
The
going to
stork
come
is coming
surprise.
down. Yeah.
And one thing, you love the holidays when your children come to you, don't you?
Absolutely. Everyone comes to my house and visits Papa.
Yeah.
So,
I have one granddaughter, and I think, that's fine for me. And I also look at it this way. By the way, we have a lot of spirits over in that corner. We have a lot of women spirits that come out. If they like us, they let us know. If they don't like us, they let us know that too. Okay, and they do have a lot of respect for you. They're listening intently to what you're saying.
okay.
As alderman for Ward 12.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill Berry fixed me on that one too.
Yeah, he's Ward 10, yeah.
You're right. What is your next goal to improve on Ward 12?
Well, because I've been one of the long-standing aldermen, the mayor put me on what's called the State DOT Highway Road Improvement Committee. So I've been meeting with state officials. And the big thing happening up in the northwest corner, and it's taken a long time. For a couple of years, there was the study of improving the rotary and the highway and the exits. Now it's the plan. So you have all these drawings drawn, and we're selecting the options. You know, how is this exit going to look, and how is that exit going to look? And we've been having public meetings in Ward 12, and I have another meeting July 11th, and then it's going to get to the construction phase. So the next few years, you said 5 years. If I was still involved, the next 5 years, that rotary is going to disappear. There's going to be a big intersection like Granite Street. You know, that big bridge over the highway and everything?
Yeah.
It's going to look like that up on my ward in the northwest corner. And there's going to be all new ramps going to Dunbarton Road, The community college is going to have a ramp coming in behind it,
Thank
and
goodness.
the highway system is going to be improved because our rotary was built in the 1960s. There are how many thousands of cars on the road now? So the infrastructure is going to catch up in the next few years, and that's the big thing. Keep everything
Mary,
happening.
call in, because you live in his area. Call in. Mary's our best baked bean maker we have.
Baked beans, huh?
Yes.
Betty Jean's.
Well, we have our psychic event. We always have. We have a food sale there. Mary makes beans. We raffle off ladies like her, but we don't make any money on it. We have to give it back.
Tell Mary, lots of molasses and lots of sugar.
Yeah, that's
Those
what
are
she
the
does.
good beans.
And I'm the quiet one. Okay.
So where is Mary? Is she on?
No, she'll be calling in.
She'll be calling in.
in.
Okay.
She's probably watching right now. But Mary is a
I'll
really
send her
dynamite.
through when she calls. You don't need to pick up.
So Norm, when you were at City Hall, and I remember
Yeah.
you speaking in front of me, there was a lady that spoke after you or
And that
before
was
you.
Mary.
And Mary was concerned with on Front Street, which is
Right.
Route 3A.
Yeah.
There's old-fashioned guardrails that are iron rope.
Right.
And I understood what she was talking about. If she crashed into that iron rope, she
Right.
could go into where the intervale is. There's a
Right.
big pond there. So I looked into that. That's actually a state road. So the city covers up what's
Okay,
called.
speaking about Mary, okay.
Oh. Let's get her on here.
Hello, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Hello.
Hi, Mary.
Oh,
Hey, Mary. You-
yeah, what's happening?
Not too much. You have any question for the Honorable Keith Hershman?
Yes, I do.
I
was
knew it.
listening to it. He's in my ward.
That's
Excellent.
right.
I
I
knew you'd be calling
live
in.
down over by Hackett Hill, the old Hackett Hill. And you have really a bad curve and around there because you must go Route 3A, which I'm off from there. Now, you have those white, so-called white lines down through there, okay? When it rains, and of course you have the river right there next to me.
I remember you telling me this.
And when it rains, you cannot see those white lines because they up and disappear on you. I mean, I've been to City Hall and and talked about it and everything. It's terrible. It really is at night. That's why I don't like to go out at night. They repaint them, and less than 3 to 4 months, they're gone again. Which I know they add water. How cheap can you be to add water to lines when and you have so many trucks travel that road the same way, and I've been to that meeting they had 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago about the new ramps coming on and off too.
Oh, good. I'm glad you came.
Yeah, I was there.
I was there too.
Yeah, I saw you.
So,
Oh, good
so
to see
Mary,
you.
here's what I want to tell you.
Uh-huh.
Years ago, the stripes on the road, they used to use a different kind of paint. And that paint used to last a long time.
It did, yeah.
And then, within the past decade, it was some kind of a federal thing, an environmental thing, where the paint, they said it was toxic. And they had to change to a different type of paint. And I notice, and you notice, that paint wears out rather quickly.
does.
Within a year or two, they have to restripe it again. So I acknowledge what you're telling me. I really do see that myself. And the highway department has to restripe roads, and they don't usually get to that till June, July, August. These are the months that happens.
Yeah.
Some parts of that road, up where you're talking, Front Street, is
Yes.
actually...
No, it's 3A, really.
Yeah, some of it's done by the
3A.
state
You're going out toward,
towards Hackett Hill.
what they call the village.
Yes.
You pass the village, and then you're on 3A.
So
There's a golf course out there and everything.
right around the community college, the city maintains up to about there.
Yeah.
But then
I'm
beyond-
right up above it.
So then beyond the community college, a lot of that's done by the state. So I'm not trying to pass the buck, but I'm just trying
Yeah,
to tell you,
yeah.
there's different boundaries that we maintain.
Yeah.
Yep. So
But, you know how small, you get so-called guardrails out there. I mean, what are they, 2 feet, maybe the most out there.
Well, after
Those
you
guardrails,
spoke,
they should have different guardrails out there. Because the way these trucks fly on that road, it's ridiculous. And people do the same thing. And
Yeah.
one of these days, someone's going to hit that guardrail, and they're going to end up right in the river.
so when you were at City Hall explaining this, I heard you testify, and I was trying to picture in my mind's eye where you were talking about. And I couldn't picture it really. I said, where is she talking about going into the water? So what I did the very next day, Mary, this is the truth, I drove down Front Street to find the spot you were talking about, and I found those old-fashioned metal rope guardrails near the Intervale
Yeah.
Country Club that if you were unfortunate enough to have an accident, you could go in the drink there and you very well could,
Yeah, you're going
you
to
could
end up in
drown.
the river.
So you are right. As far as putting up a metal guardrail there, I don't know if I'd have to talk to the state about that, but you are certainly right. So I'll give you
Yeah,
that.
because
Oh, don't tell her she's right. She's gonna get a big head
Sooner
now.
or later, God forbid,
Just like this one.
something's going to happen. Like, the way these trailer and tractor trails, I mean, I hear them all night long flying through here. And then they put on their Jake brake, to slow down, to get up above here. The other Hackett Hill will slow down.
Are you on the old
Even
Hackett
during
Hill?
the day I hear them,
Yeah.
But it's sooner or later, someone's going to get hurt, God forbid.
Well, one of the things about serving in office, Mary, is the people that I try to advocate the hardest for are people that are seniors or youth, because those are the people that sometimes need the help. The people that are in the middle age, they kind of do things on their own, but I can certainly try to help you.
Well, Mary's 92.
That's all?
Yeah.
That's all.
No.
When it been, I'll be 70 in November.
Actually, Mary and I go way back, like you and I.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we do now.
Yep. It's fun to meet up when people you haven't seen in years and years,
So Norm's got this pile of cards here. He's telling me, I guess it's the good, the bad, and the ugly,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I've faced up to it all. I'm just hoping not to go on that cruise he's telling me about.
One other thing I've also seen, you have someone that's going to be running against you that's pretty well known.
That always
Joe,
happens.
what is it, Hebert? No, Albert, or whatever his name is there. Albert. But the one thing, and you know what?
Oh, I ran against him before. Sure.
Yeah.
Joel, yeah.
Don't you welcome the competition?
I don't welcome competition. I welcome the dialogue.
Yeah.
You want to have a conversation? Let's have a real conversation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's lay it out. Let's say who's left, who's right, who's in the middle, who's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice card. I
Yeah.
like that.
That is representing 30 more years of you and your wife being together.
I don't know how that could be possible, but we did get married very young.
Okay. How long you been married now?
We got married when we were 21 years old.
Wow.
See, that was
Very
my
nice.
that was my
Very.
third marriage. My
And,
fourth marriage when I was 22. No, 24.
And, we got married because we were in love. It was nothing to do with money or anything else. It was just
And,
love. Yeah.
and that's the thing I hear
Yeah.
Mary agree with me on. And that's the thing is, I see a lot of childhood sweethearts that get married.
Yeah.
And then still together.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
That is good to hear.
And when I go to these homes and I do psychic events, give me amazing. I can't wait for my husband to leave, or I can't wait for my wife. How much money am I going to get? A lot of them, they thrive on money.
Agreed.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That's really very sad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
Well, Mary, I want to thank you for the call. And,
You're welcome.
and have a great day. And you're going to join us Monday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Drive safe, Mary.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
She's
Catch
a
you
little
guys
old lady.
later.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
she's a little old lady from
I'll,
Pasadena.
I'll wave it to you at the polls. You take care.
Actually, she'll probably invite you into her TV show. She has a half-hour TV show.
Everyone's got a TV show. Wow.
I've been doing it for 17 years. Yeah, there you go. One of the things I'm also seeing is the relationship with you and your wife is going to get even stronger. You've got to communicate more.
Oh, boy. Huh? More?
Yeah. Because I see you take each other for granted. Start working a little bit harder, taking each other out. What's the last time you took her out to dinner?
I would love to take her out to dinner, but Betty loves takeout from the Puritan.
Oh, now you're playing my song. I love the Puritan. Yes.
I've been there
Because-
once, and I wasn't
Oh, I
that
love the
impressed.
place.
She can get that chicken parm
Yes.
tender plate, and she can make that last 2 days. Because that's a meal for like 2 days.
Well, take her out to dinner up in the mountains. You said you
So-
like the mountains, right?
So I will take Betty wherever she wants to go.
No. When was the last time you had a good day off by yourself?
I can't remember.
And I really seriously going to recommend this. And
Yeah.
You as a reader as well. By
Yeah,
the way, she's a reader as well.
I know I'm burnt out a little bit.
Yeah,
I
you
know
really
that.
need to take
You
away.
do.
Take like either go by yourself. You like the wooded area?
Yeah,
Or the
I'm up in that northwest corner because I like that. I have 100-foot pine trees all over my property. I
So
love the
would
woods.
actually
Yeah.
encourage you to go somewhere like either in the mountains or just maybe
Yeah.
take the wife and put her on top of the car and hire her down so she can't fall off and just drive up into the mountains.
So
As long as you've been sitting here, what's very interesting is that I kind of suspected when you came in that you dream and you have these thoughts that run through your mind. And behind you today, there's just, and it's not the.
do I have
the
a nice
light.
aura?
You do. You
Oh,
do. You
thank
have a very, very nice aura.
He
What
has
color
a
is it?
caring order. You got several colors.
There's a symphony of color, and also behind you there are people that you have touched in some way with your work here in the city. And I know they probably don't know that you're here, but what I sense is you carry that with you. When you make a connection for one of your constituents, that connection is just not for that issue. So you
Yeah.
carry that with you, and it's
That's very true. I have been the guy that I think people are comfortable with me sitting at the kitchen table
exactly.
and talking and having a cup of tea and let's hear the problem, but let's relate together
Yeah.
because this isn't the only problem you're ever going to have. You're going to call me again.
Right.
So
No sugar.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, Nick.
I gave up sugar in my coffee 15 years ago.
No candy bars.
Oh boy, I had one yesterday.
No.
Can't lie.
And those little. What did you say? You had two of those goodie bars there. The
Yeah,
devil dogs.
Devil dog. Yeah.
Oh, see,
I'll
I
quit-
understand.
For you, I'll quit the devil dogs. Scouts honor.
I'll give you a challenge.
Okay.
Be very careful on the sugar that you eat. Go 2 weeks without a devil dog, or a week without a
Right,
dog, and then
yeah.
eat a devil
promise.
dog and see what, and let me know what happens.
Okay.
Your mother is laughing.
She
Your
is
mother
probably
they said about. Did your mother make strudel? I don't know what strudel is, but something about strudel. I'm getting a word strudel.
Kuchen,
Kuchen,
German
okay, yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
Kugel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
She made a lot of good pastry, but she also
Yeah.
wanted you to. When she told you to eat, you better eat.
We ate.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When she prepared dinner, you better be there to have dinner. She could be
She,
very emotional if she wanted to be, she said.
She worked in the trucking industry for 33 years. So right out of high school,
She was a truck driver?
in the 70s, the trucking
Oh, yeah.
companies were
Yeah.
a big deal. And my
Oh,
mother
yeah.
worked in the office doing like typing, and she
Yeah.
worked her way up to pretty much running the office in the trucking terminal. And she worked there 33, 34 years.
Well, the message she has on that to everybody that is listening. This is her she had a deep voice, but who is listening, and I think you're good for her. You can do whatever you put your mind to. Like you just said, she worked her way up in the industry there. And anybody that says, "Poor me, I can't do any better," then they're wrong, because she is saying that she accomplished a major goal.
Yeah. So I thought I knew who my mother was.
Right.
I was an only child, and you're kind of paying attention to most things, right? So my mother didn't brag about something, and I didn't find out about it. My mother was a hero, but she never spoke of it.
Mhm.
And then when my mother passed, it's been 20 years, 22 years, I found a clipping.
Okay.
Because I inherited all my mother's stuff, and over
Right.
time you have to look through all this stuff. And she never told me, but her terminal was on fire. There was a major fire.
Oh.
And everybody, she said, in the clipping, there was a third person writing this story about her, saying that everybody ran like rats out of the building because there was a fire, and it was a real raging fire. There was someone that was disabled. My mother stayed behind and helped the disabled person getting out of the building. And in the clipping, the reporter asked her, "What's your memory of that fire?" And she said she could hear the windows cracking as she slowly walked out, this disabled person. And I'm telling you, I knew everything about my mother, and she never spoke of that.
She wasn't looking for the
So
glorification.
For me to find that all those years later, I was like amazed.
Well, she just said you got a big mouth.
Yeah, I told you a story, Ma. Yeah,
I just told you what she just said. She said you got a big mouth, but she's smiling. She
she's
said thank
smiling.
you for
She is
that.
smiling.
That is a reward. Did she get
so I appreciate you
plaque or
talking about her. She was a Sunday school teacher.
Yeah.
So, like when I was a little kid getting my morals and values, I was dragged to Sunday school by my mother. Protestant Sunday school and
She said
church.
it didn't hurt you either, did it?
No. Yeah, no.
She wants to know why you don't go today.
Ma, I do the right thing in most cases. But,
You know, I call the church right here.
yeah.
I
Okay?
was- yeah.
And it comes from your heart.
It
doesn't
does.
come from a
Yeah.
building, okay?
Yeah.
I definitely see, you have a dog, right?
2 dogs.
Two
Yay.
dogs. And are they young dogs?
10 years old each. Same
You got
little.
them for another 5 years,
Oh, that would be marvelous.
okay?
They asked
They're
what
your
breed-
babies, huh?
Those dogs are my children right now.
Okay.
Yeah, they wait for me to come home.
Yeah.
What breed?
They're pointers,
Oh,
so they're
There's
spotted.
one,
Yeah,
a
it's-
male and female.
a male and a female.
Your male, I mean, once in a while I'll have an accident because he waits too long for Papa to get home, and he's apologizing right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
he goes out.
Yeah.
We have a sliding door. They run out.
Okay, I'm just saying
Yeah.
that sometimes he gets a little lazy. I also will tell you that he has a problem with his left hip. That's something like it's locking, and it could be like an arthritis thing there.
Yeah,
So I would encourage you to. Do you know what Reiki energy is?
I've heard the name.
Okay, Reiki energy is
Touch.
where you put, you run your hands, you push over the negative, and you just slowly.
Therapy.
Yeah.
It's like a therapy. You don't actually have to touch them.
Yeah.
Like, we'll see if we can get her brain active here. We know, something like that. It's like that. Just barely cup it like that.
Yes.
And when it does, it takes all the negative energy out.
and it's a great form of massage.
I
do
pat
that
my
too.
dogs frequently.
Yeah.
And I either saw it on TV or read it that your touch is
It's- right.
is
That Reiki
transmitted and emanated,
Yeah.
and
They also know.
I have a caring touch with the dogs always. I never.
That one dog. Did you get them together?
Well, here's an interesting story. It's a brother and sister pointer, and
Yeah.
I got the boy pointer first.
Right.
I adopted him. I rescued him from a
Yeah.
rescue,
And he wouldn't be alive today.
and I loved him. 3 years later, that rescue called me and said, one of your dog's sisters, the people that had adopted it, returned the dog. How would you like to have your dog's sister dog? I said, I'd love it. So we got him his sister 3 years later.
That
Isn't
is
that amazing?
an
And
And
awesome
we brought them
story.
together in our home, and
Right.
they're marvelous.
That's how the spirit works.
works.
I often think about all these dogs that people take and they sell them and they do. They have no care of what happens to the
No
mother dog.
conscience about it. Yeah, it's-
And this is why I'm so deeply involved. You're going to find that most spiritual, psychic people like myself and her, we are very much involved with the animal, just like
Good.
you are. This is why we do the event. Like we raise money in April, wasn't it? Yeah.
We did one in April for
For
the
the
Manchester
Manchester
Humane
Animal Shelter.
Society. Yeah.
Yep.
If it wasn't for the animals there, I would have never done it with the attitude we got from there.
Good.
Oh, look at this! Another one.
That's looking good.
I'm also. You're going to some kind of a reunion.
I just went
Okay.
Saturday night, my
Right.
40th high
Okay.
school.
And it worked out well.
I was very popular. Apparently, a lot of the guys that I went to school with don't have hair, but I do.
Yeah. Isn't that wonderful? I pride myself on my
So
hair.
I guess I was a big hit.
Yeah. Well, they also are surprised that you're as successful as you, but you're also very modest about your success.
Right.
I try to be. I mean,
You're very humble and you're very grateful for you because you had to start from the bottom and work your way up. And
I
you
have
fallen
done
a
that.
few times and you
I'm human.
yeah. And but you and your wife have always managed to build it back up again, even when you had some time when you were financially struggling. Wonder if you're going to okay.
Everybody's had that, sure.
Yeah, but you never gave up on it. You
I
know.
believe in myself, I guess.
Do you believe you're a winner?
What's that?
Do you believe that you're a winner?
Yes, but it's not like I'm going to go down to the lottery and win. I believe in that I'm going to work hard and win.
If you look, I want you to look in the mirror, Keith,
Yeah.
and say, you know what? Good morning. I'm Keith, and I am a winner today.
Okay.
And it works, doesn't it?
It does work. I do something similar to
Yep.
that. I get up in the morning and I say, please only allow me to remember and know what it is that I need to know for this moment in time. Because when you do that, you have the opportunity to have focused time with Spirit. So that's something that I've always done.
There's,
Your wife is.
there's waking times like
Oh, yeah.
contemplation.
Oh,
I contemplate and I
I do
think.
too at night.
Yeah, you want to make sure you're doing the right thing.
I'm not a big dreamer, like you had said that. I'm not a real big dreamer. I don't believe. I don't.
Does your wife have, your wife's health, I'm not saying it's bad.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
had her
When I'm looking at some
Tribulations.
medical, I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
some medical issues that are going to
she's
be
had
okay.
and we've battled through that
Yeah,
stuff.
I've also seen her having a problem with the C word, cancer.
Oh.
It's not happening yet, but it could happen.
Well, she's a survivor from some things, sure.
Okay. She has a strong constitution,
Yeah.
and she's also very strong psychically. So you better not ever cheat on her, because she will know.
37 years, I didn't do it yet.
No,
I shouldn't say yet. That's not.
That's not good.
Oh, you got to.
Hello?
Boy, you're going to be in trouble. Your dog, if your TV is on, your dogs are watching you,
And they can hear your voice.
Oh.
I
They can
can
hear your
feel them.
That's
They're-
I have to leave my TV on when I leave to do my show so that my dog can hear it.
We leave our TV on a lot. The only problem is the popular thing right now is dog commercials. And they see dogs on a commercial, and
Yeah.
boy, do they get upset. Kind of jealous, probably. You know?
Yeah.
Well, they want to communicate with them.
Yeah.
One other thing I'm also going to tell you that you're also going to win a humanitarian award. I don't know just when, but there's something about somebody
Well-
being in a car accident, a car fire. You're going to pull them out.
I have never, I'm being honest, I have never ever won any award for anything. But I don't really want an award, but I have never won an award.
But you have a chance to win an award.
Yay!
But I'm not sure if you want to or not, because you'd
Yeah.
rather be in the background, or it could be your son. Okay, your son is also a very caring person. Okay, but he's also
I would say he's caring but guarded.
right. Okay, he
Guarded.
also is very business. Business is business, and pleasure is pleasure.
That's a fact.
He's also buying a new house,
He's working on that for real. Yeah.
and it's going to be in a very short time. There's another house he can get either on a foreclosure or whatever. Dad, you're going to have to help him remodel it.
Oh, goodness. Hope I have time, Kev.
Are you a carpenter?
I just remodeled a couple rooms at our house, but my skills aren't a professional, but they're okay.
My daughter-in-law pushes me out of the way so that he can do it. I am
I
not.
can believe that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have no skills. In fact, Scott does it too. And well, I got fired for painting on a job because all the paint came on me instead of on the wall. Then another time I was working with the siding, put siding on. They had to call the fire department to get me off. So, needless to say, I didn't have a job. I also will tell you, you're going to be going to a convention on the work that you do, and you're going to be one of the speakers.
Yay.
Stop holding yourself back. You have earned the right to be successful.
Yeah,
Okay? Nothing has ever came easy to you,
that's true.
And you work between 10 and 12 hours a day.
That's not true.
No, be prepared.
Maybe mentally.
Okay.
I was just going to say, because we
It
all...
doesn't always have to be physically.
Mentally, I am a 16-hour-a-day
Yeah.
go.
Your mind is always-
Yeah.
Even when you're sleeping, your subconscious mind is always working.
And lately, it's been working overtime.
There's a big, there's some kind, I'm telling you, I see a big, big building that is coming out, and it could be one of the hotels.
Nice.
Okay. And people are going to say, the only reason Keith got this because he's politically connected. Isn't that sad when they use that as
That's
a...
true.
But hey,
Well-
you know what? If it pays, go for it. But I also will tell you that you do have to slow down a little bit because you're a workaholic. When you work, you work, you work. When everything that you do to an excess. Like when you go to the meetings, when you're on the committee, and you
Isn't
say
that a
hi
fact?
to your lovely wife.
Yeah.
What's her name, Betty?
Daddy.
Betty. Hi, Betty. Oh, hi. I haven't seen you in a while. How are you? Whatever, But she understood that when you got into this.
Betty is very, very tolerant of my public life, that I'll call it.
Yeah.
And because I think I'm that only child still inside of me, I'm
Yeah.
still a very private.
Right.
But when people reach out to me, I'm there, I'm available. But I like my privacy. A lot of people like privacy.
Oh, yeah.
And the
She
past
respects
couple
that.
terms, she said, I want you to run. And I was like, you want me to run? Okay.
I think that's excellent.
So
That's
I've had
why-
her support.
That's good. That's like when I do a lot of readings.
Yeah.
I go out of town. I go to private houses and I go to and stuff like that. When I get home, I really enjoy having my quietness, my peacefulness. You know, I think it's important that we enjoy it. You know, and the one thing I'm also looking at with you too. Oh yeah, you got more grandchildren coming.
Where are these grandchildren all coming from? Okay.
Well, I hope they're from the children and that you're aware of. I don't see you being a big player growing up.
A player?
unless-
No,
yeah.
I was a nice kid.
Yeah, I don't see you doing.
Yeah.
You really were, weren't you?
Yeah.
You were like almost like a goody two shoes.
My mother was a Sunday school teacher. I tell people that and they laugh, but that's the truth.
Well, you know, I went to private parochial schools all my life. I used to dream about penguins. That's because I was in school when I was 4 years old.
You
in
would be about
kindergarten.
some nuns.
And to me, and I used to dream about penguins because obviously with the habits and even going to a zoo today and I see a penguin, I've got this that comes up, you know, it's like, ooh.
I'm not a dreamer. I don't dream a lot, but I know the dreams that I've had. And a lot of the dreams that I've had, I don't know if it's because of my work experience, but I'm in empty buildings.
That is, yeah.
I'm in
yeah,
big
sure.
buildings.
Sure.
And I'm by myself, and I'm finding my way, and I'm...
And showing you
Yeah.
what the building that you're going to have on the next path. Okay.
Gotta,
You and your wife are actually married to each other in your past life.
well,
I wish there was a way we could show people
That-
their past life,
Yeah.
thing like that, you know. I want to encourage you to look at the early 1800s and
Yeah.
read books and look at pictures on around the Virginia area and around this area. You've always, even in your past life, you've always been around this area.
well, I told you that I was a fifth-generation
Yeah.
person here,
Yeah.
and native. So my great, is it 2 grades
So
or
hit
3
the
grades?
table.
Oh, I did it again. So my second or third great-grandfather was this fellow named Wolf. And there's a Wolf Park in your ward.
Yeah.
And that's part of his family. I don't know if it's a brother named after, but I'm related to this Mr. Wolf. He's a great-great-great-grandfather of mine, and I saw his picture from 1845 or 18, whatever it was, and I look like him. And I thought that was very,
You are actually a descendant of his.
yeah.
Okay. One of the things we're looking at, there's some kind of a company that wants to buy some property. Do you have that wants to build some kind of a supermarket or a plaza? Do you have an area where you're in charge of that they can build some kind of a plaza or a shopping center?
There's some development that's going to happen in the northwest corner, but it's not necessarily retail. It's
I'm seeing something about a supermarket or something like that.
somebody just put in for 600 feet of water main to go up in the Northwest Business Park. Maybe that's it.
That's what I'm seeing. It's going to be worthwhile. Okay.
It's going to be big up there.
I know that the one thing that I have the admiration for is that you don't look for the credit. Oh, I'm Keith Hershman, and this is what I did, and this is what I don't. You know.
That's an easy way to get out of politics.
Yeah, and you have a right to vote how you feel, though, and take credit for what you do. Bill Variance is you get along well with him, don't you?
We get along fine.
Yeah.
We're very different,
Oh yeah.
but we're very cordial, and we're both West Side guys, and we both care about the same people.
Yep.
I can't get the guy from Ward 11 to respond back to me.
Norm is a very nice man. He's probably 76, 77, and he's a retired district fire chief, and he's like set in his ways. But
Well,
him and I
wanna
kid
see-
each other. He sits next to me, and I can kid with him.
Well, my problem is that these people that run for aldermen, I like to call it alderperson because you had females on there as well.
Sure.
So that would be more politically incorrect.
Alderman is an old term
Yeah.
from the 1800s, sure.
So I like to see the people that are going to be there, not go spending 6 months in Florida and not, And I voiced this out before. I'm not afraid to voice my opinion, But I also will tell you, and if you think about this,
It's all walks of life. It's different ages, different experience, different careers, different
I mean, I'm sure he's a heck of a
philosophies,
nice
different
guy.
outlooks,
Yeah.
different plans. So many differences that it makes us all the same.
Yeah,
It-
and we
it
are
really-
actually we're all one spirit.
Yeah.
I remember there's a person who I'm not going to mention names, but you know who I mean. He was an alderman. He was a mail carrier, and he had and then again another Democrat. But anyways, the Democratic Party really are hurting themselves. It's only making the Republicans stronger. But that's their choice.
I don't view like the realm that I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't think on those
Yeah.
terms. I really don't.
No, but I'm just saying this is what
We're doing the
as a-
people thing, so I'm
Yeah.
not going to ask if you're a Democrat. I'm like, do you know Norm? Yeah, I know Norm. He's a psychic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And folks, I worked very hard to be that too. See, I have lived on what we call the dark side of being a psychic, and I've been drinking, and I've done psychic readings, and I've done all these negative energy things, and I'm writing my book on it, and so I'll be telling. But today, I've been sober 21 years, and I do it the way I'm supposed to be doing, and I enjoy what I do. You like your business, you enjoy the challenges of it. I knew though there's another company that's coming into this city that's going to give you a run for your money, so be prepared.
We all have our run.
Yeah, isn't it fun? I mean, without competition, wouldn't it kind of be you know, that's like I started. I was the first one to be on the air with a psychic show. Okay, and I think they've all left out. I think I'm the only one.
So my wife, in years past, when she was working and she wasn't disabled or sick or anything, she had a little career, and she met a lady that had ability, and I forgot her name, but she would tell Betty psychic type stuff.
Yeah.
And then she met me, and my wife said, "Why don't you tell Keith something?" And she looked at me, and she didn't want any part of me.
Uh
And then I was saying to myself,
Any psychic that will. I've had people that I don't want to read. I will do it, but I've had people that I don't want to read because I don't like the outcome of that.
Yeah.
When I refuse to read people that are drinking because they can become very violent. Trust me on that one or whatever. And I've had women.
So, in public life,
Yeah, and you're the same way.
on a Friday night, the telephone will ring, and I'll see the caller ID. It's a Manchester phone number. It's not, 1-800 or something like
Right.
that. So I'll pick it up. Hey, it's Keith. How you doing? Sometimes it's a constituent that had a problem that really needs to talk, and I'd be happy to talk to them. But sometimes it's someone that's inebriated, and those conversations are tough. And I try to tell them, hey, listen, I love to hear from you, but could you call me tomorrow? It's tough getting off those calls.
I was going to say that's good.
Yeah.
What you do is really 24 hours a day.
Yeah,
I mean, or at
And
least
by the
16.
way, folks, this is what I'm going to tell you about the aldermen, most aldermen on the west side. My hats are off to you. If you have a question for them, you Facebook them or email them or whatever.
Email's wonderful. Yeah.
I will tell you this. I know for a fact that Keith will get back to you.
Sure.
In fact, you got back to me the same day.
Was it that quick? Yeah.
Yep.
I tried.
And I was surprised because I really blasted the aldermen on, if you remember right at the meeting, what are we looking for?
Oh.
What are we doing? And,
Yeah.
and all that stuff, And now that I've got to know the alderman, I wish I could get to know, what's his name, Norman?
Norm Gamache.
I'm all about the west side.
So I was raised the old-fashioned Manchester way that you don't throw a candy wrapper on the ground.
There you
don't
go.
do anything bad. And to this day, that kind of stuff bothers me. So
Yeah.
if I'm dry and trash on the ground, that really bothers me, and people know that.
Yeah.
But sometimes getting it picked up, you're gonna make a bunch of phone calls, and it's tough.
Bill, the Honorable Bill Berry, and I got home a week ago today. These brats, or these children, or whatever you want to call them, monsters, I prefer to use that word. I come home, both trash buckets by the park
Oh,
was all
Oh,
over the
overflowing.
place.
Oh, good grief.
Oh, no, they just dumped them over, thought it was funny. They used it to climb on the trees with.
so he called the parks for you?
I called Bill.
Yeah.
And he drove by. And folks, let me tell you, I went out an hour later and it was all picked up. You can't ask for a better representation.
You know, it's
than
true.
that.
I'm a transplant. I was born and raised in Manchester.
I mean, you
Like I
were a
said,
transplant, all right.
I'm up on the other end, the north end of town, and it is very quiet where I live.
Yeah.
And I do find that people in this city are very responsive. Like, I enjoy going downtown. I put Timmy in the stroller, and we take a walk downtown. We go to the farmers market on Thursdays because it's just a wonderful way.
Did you put your dog in a stroller?
He's little.
A little Chihuahua type of dog?
He's a Chinese crested, you know.
Chinese dog, okay.
And then we love the North End because we can go and walk safely to the Puritan, because I have to tell you that Timmy's a snob when it comes to ice cream. He prefers the Puritan.
He likes the Puritan.
He loves the Puritan, and they love him because when I pull up to the window with the stroller, they lean out and they go, "Oh, just one little bit more." And Timmy sits there, and it's just a nice city to live in. And I love the parks up by me. We take our stroller and we go for a little ride.
The mayor has always asked that we think globally, think Manchester-wide. And I think most of the aldermen do, because Manchester's a
What
small
can
place.
we do about the drug epidemic? What do they do?
Well, you need a collective think tank. You need everybody. We need our aldermen, our professionals, our department heads. We need everybody to come up with ideas, because a lot of us have never been on drugs.
True.
And some of us have never been touched by it. Now, it's so prevalent now. There's so many deaths and so many people that are addicted that a lot of people's lives have been touched, and they're more in tune, and there's a lot of efforts all going on at the same time. Unfortunately, there's arrests, there's treatment, there's counseling, there's people being sent off. There's different phases of addiction and recovery, and the hope is that people can recover.
The biggest problem is, like, I'm not saying anything to that.
Yeah, if you can't recover, then
Yeah.
are we...
Yeah, are we really wasting our money, so to speak? But
It's not free. It's
No.
costing the city substantial amounts of money, but we're doing it. We're
the biggest
battling.
problem I had is when a lot of these rehab centers,
Yeah.
and if a person goes in for help, there's a certain amount of time period they have to wait before they can get in, or they have to have some kind
That
of
is a problem.
right, and they have to
Excuse
have
me.
insurance.
I don't know all the details, whether they go on Medicaid or Medicare, or if they have insurance, but they're funneled to a intake compassion center, you want to call them. Someone that's going to be compassionate, whether you have insurance or you don't have insurance, but we know you're addicted, and there's got to be a path for you.
Yeah.
Maybe if you have insurance, maybe the path is quicker. Maybe if you don't, you have to do some more paperwork and get on a state thing, but they're going to find a place for you.
I was very fortunate. I'm an alcoholic. I've been sober for 21 years, but I went to an outpatient thing there through the Manchester Mental Health, and I can remember the first time ever that I went to a meeting, and they looked at me and they said, "If you think we're going to hold your hand and that we're going to babysit you, don't even waste your time." And that's the type of meeting I needed to go to. You know, I saw people that were forced to go there through the court system or whatever to me, and they don't listen. They just, But that is where I learned that I can survive and I can be okay. But and like there are help out there. But I find that very interesting, Honorable Keith, is that that once the political offices are done, like when they ran for president and they ran for governor, you don't hear anything anymore.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
La Bamba.
Yeah. That's my friend for getting them on the air. That's right. Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Sorry about that, people. My son forgot. But the one thing that I truly know is that what's the political, this one's going to do this and that one's going to do this, and now you don't hear a whole lot about what's going on.
Once they're elected is what you're saying?
Yeah. And that breaks my heart, because if you have to give false hope to these people, then what the hell are you running for?
Right. You have to honestly not overcommit. I mean, you have to believe that
Right.
what you're promising you can deliver on.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of experience in local government, so I kind of have the feel of what can be done and what can't. And sometimes the honesty, it doesn't sit well. You know, if I say I can't do something, you know, that's like, what do you mean you can't do it? Some things we can't do, but I will tell you honestly. And, you know,
My major concern is the education and the layoffs and teachers and the saving of this dollar. My concern is, instead of giving all these people in high office, the superintendent makes good money.
Yep.
The assistant superintendents make good money. The principals make good money. You know, these vice presidents. Why can't we give them less money and put it more teachers for education? You know, this is what I'm saying, because like the West Side, you know, they're getting overcrowded again. And I was hearing that they want to close the West Side down. That upset me.
it should.
You know, I'm not a happy camper they're going to do that.
People have to think long term. West High's been there for 100 years.
Yeah.
And there's 30,000 homes on the west side. It'll be there for another 100 years if they don't mess it up. We need that high school. Do we need all the high schools? Probably. We have 3 in the School of Technology. There's changes at the top. We have a new administrator for schools. This fellow was brought in from the outside. He wasn't from Manchester.
Yeah.
So he was brought in probably to change things, because there's certainly a whole lot of principals, 20, 30 principals, that could have taken that job and been matriculated up and do the same thing that's been happening. But,
He used a big word.
so, Norm, we went outside. When I say we, the city of Manchester went
Right.
outside and got this new guy.
I like this guy.
And he's working hard. I talked to the school board members to find out, you know, what's going on. Is this guy doing a good job? And his heart's in the right place. He's working hard. His deputy, Mr. Ryan, is leaving. I think tomorrow's his last day. Do we need to replace him? I don't know.
But sometimes new
don't-
blood, I mean,
yeah.
in every organization, process improvement is an ongoing thing, or if it's not, it should be, because things change, people change, the times change. So when you bring someone in from the outside, not only do they bring their background, but they also sometimes bring a semi-new thought process or a brand new way of
Yep.
doing things, and that's part of that continuing to grow. So that is good that Manchester has done that.
I'm never happy when they bring like a new. I'm not saying Nick Willen isn't doing a good job as the chief of police,
Yeah.
but I think we need someone from the outside, like someone who's been in like New York, who's been into the gutter, like in New York or like in or some other place, and bring a new perspective about how can we combat. And I'm not
Well,
discouraging Nick.
Nick's from Maine,
Right.
and he has a vast experience in the military in Maine, and he's a good chief. He didn't. He didn't.
I'm not going to. No, he is.
He
is
kind
trying.
of, how did you say it, plateaued up to be
Right.
chief.
Right.
And his deputy chief, that guy's fantastic. He's the guy you don't hear about.
Oh, okay.
So you have the good cop, the chief's out in the public eye, and then you have the other guy running the whole operation inside and not getting any of the credit, doing all the hard work. Not to say that you don't, chief, but the deputy chief is a superstar. And you talked about that outside experience. I met a bunch of the policemen. One of the captains, I think he runs the SWAT team, he's from away. I did an 8-hour ride along, and I won't mention his name, but this officer was from Los Angeles.
Oh.
And at the time, he was a patrolman. Him and I rode around for 8 hours. I wouldn't do a ride along just for an hour. I wanted to say, I want to see what's going on for
Right.
real. I want to take some notes. I want to know what you need for equipment, for whatever. So I stuck it out for 8 hours. This guy was from Los Angeles. He was professional. Every call we went on, whether it was someone illegally parked or we went in someone's apartment and there was a ruckus, an altercation of domestic violence. There was some calls I went on that were eye-opening. That guy was professional. He's now promoted. I think he's a sergeant or a detective. Forgive me, but I know he's promoted. So there are a lot of different mindsets in that Manchester Police Department, and there's a
I
bunch
wish
of
it
other
wouldn't
people
take
like
so long to get
Yeah.
a police officer when you call. No, that's my big problem is, and
Uh,
I'm not sure. And like I called yesterday to find out about what was going on with the substation.
Yeah.
And the lady got really upset with me, and I said, "Could I hit the wrong button?" And I said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, I hit the wrong button. I didn't mean it to be, an emergency or thing." But however, I said, "I'd like to have." We don't have a maintenance police department. Doesn't have a maintenance department. I go, "Oh."
So the Manchester Police Department is extremely busy, as well as our ambulance service, the fire department. They're all busy.
Oh, that's another question.
So I just want to wrap up on that
Yeah.
topic of police.
Yeah.
So to really get some of your core answers, you should have like a ward meeting. Have Bill Berry set up a school meeting where the police kind of come and attend, and you get the
One time we had a fight
answers
going on
to your
here.
questions. But actually to call in and get answers to questions is tough because they're dealing in real time in real situations, crimes and of all kinds.
But they had a fight going on at the
Yeah.
park a couple summers ago.
Yeah.
4 of us called. They came in like 20 minutes later when the fight was all over. They actually talked to the guys and said, "How are you doing?" And so I have a problem with calls. I really do. And but I think I would like to see more patrolmen in our area. I really would. I think that, and I will always thank them for serving our city and keeping us safe. I don't have to always agree with them.
I keep mental notes. I get emails from the police department every day, and it always includes a mugshot and the description of the crime. And mental notes tell me a lot of these people are not from here.
No.
They're delivering drugs here, or they've
unfortunate.
moved here to
Yeah.
stake out a turf,
Yeah.
and they've gotten involved in some bad things. But the police are making some arrests.
Right. These drug dealers are
Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah.
They really, you think about it. They forget, the simplest thing, either the car registered isn't there, or there's not an inspection sticker, or they
There's a
forget
lot
to
of-
use a directional light. You know what I'm saying? And these people are still, they think our
And,
street is a
With the
race street.
with the opioid crisis that we're in the middle of, or hopefully we're at the tail of it someday, but you're seeing these crimes that you didn't see before.
That's
The,
very
the
true.
guy that breaks into the corner store,
Yeah.
these people are so desperate, they're doing desperate things.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are doing, and I sense that a lot of them, maybe you agree with me, is that not only is a lot of the homeless people, especially towards the winter or whatever, well, if I break into this store and I take money, and if I get caught, I'm going to have a place to stay because it's going to be
So up to this point, you've seen the Keith with the soft heart and the nice smile and the cordialness. When it comes to the panhandlers, I have
no problem.
a hard heart. I'll drive up to the Emmuskeg Bridge and I'll stare at the guy, but I won't give him a nickel because we're told over and over those people are going to use it to buy drugs, and we got to try
I
not to
often-
give them
yeah.
money.
And one time I was at Applebee's, and this lady come up. She said, "Well, I need money." Blah blah blah. I said, "Here, let me give you a gift card for the Subway that used to be there, but it's not there
Yeah.
anymore." Oh no! I go, well then, and or like down street,
There's a lot of scams. There's a lot of sad stories. You have to read between the lines. You're a psychic. You might
No,
feel it a little bit.
that's it. And
I keep throwing that out there
That's
for you.
okay. I'm
Yeah,
used to that. But you know what? I've been down and out, but I've never begged, borrowed, or steal.
Right.
Never had. You can make your way. And the only time I ever stole is not stole, but I kind of borrowed. It's from the churches, but then I got a conscience, got sober.
You got a conscience.
I end up
There you
going and paying the church
Paid 'em back.
and
So you got your honor back. There you
Right.
go.
And I also will take and my heart breaks when a lot of times I'll go to these people and I see them in the market basket and I know that whatever they're doing, they're going to try to steal. And I'm not patting myself on the back, but I say to them, "Let me help you, and they run because I'm more than willing to pay for if they need something, milk or something, I will pay for it for them, just like I know you would too. This is who are you, and this is who we are. If you are hard-hearted in Manchester, then you don't belong here.
just with the panhandlers. That's
Yeah.
what
That,
we're
well, that
doing.
can be frightening for people too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Down by the bridge over by what it called? Hands Across the Merrimack.
That little footbridge, yeah.
If you go down in
Where's
there,
that?
you'll see a lot of the homeless people there. And I refuse to walk there at night because of that reason. And because you never know. And the sad part is, it's a young people.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
teenagers. It's people in their 20s.
Young.
Back when I was growing up, my mom, my foster mother, she used to be baking. They always knew when she was going to bake, like with your mother. And they would always come around because we lived in a real small town. I told you about New London and all that. And I grew up in there. And she would always bake in these certain days. They would all, she was like, as they called them back then, hobos.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And they always knew when she was going to cook, but she made them work for
Was
her.
there a railway in New London? Do you know?
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
we had a rail yard here.
Yeah. Well,
So
we
it
would-
used to
Yeah.
be called
Yeah.
Hobo Jungle way back in the day because the rail stop
Yeah.
was there.
Well, this is in Springfield.
Now
We
there's no
lived there.
rail yard, but there's definitely a homeless population that there's supposed to be a plan for homelessness, but I think it's gotten beyond.
I really would not want to see the Horizon and the family and transition combined together. That's not going to work.
I don't
Really?
even know about that.
The company that I work for, there's two of us in the same building. We are involved here in Manchester with families in transition. We
Yep.
do dinner for them once a month. We are also involved, with NHTI and the like. We just finished a project for them. They're having an event in August, and they were looking for sponsorship for the program that they're doing on domestic abuse. So my company was involved in recruiting vendors for them for those events, and I have to say my experience with families in transition in the year I've been with the company is very positive. I think that I think every organization again has room for improvement. You know what I mean? It's
Okay.
just it's a great organization. These folks work hard to pull these dinners off every week and every month.
Yeah.
They truly do.
One of the things that I do know, and I talk to a lot of in the park, because I'm nosy. I go right into that park and I get my nosy. I learned it from her,
I'm inquisitive is the word we're using these days.
And I'll go in there, and a lot of the people want to be. They don't want to stay at the shelter. They don't. They prefer to be out in the wood because of whatever reason, and I'll talk to them, and I'll say, but the rules and regulation, they say they feel like they're in a concentration camp,
I just thought it was there's some mental illness, there's
yeah.
some sobriety problems, then
Yeah.
there's some drug problems.
Yeah.
You bundle it all together, and next thing you know, you're out living in a
Remember
tent.
the old, they used to call him the major, the colonel, that he used to have white hair, he used to be homeless, but he always had money. And there was another one you used to call the professor, he had bald hair and all that, he used to be downtown. And he had money, but because I know these, but because his wife died in a fire in his arms, and then on, he would never do it, And then I have to tell you, the other day I ran into a gentleman, which was really gratifying to me. I looked at them all. I walked into the park. Thank God the Spirit is with me many times. And I walked into the park, and I saw this guy about a week ago. How you doing? He says, really good. He says, you know what? I really listened to you. I go, why is that? He said, I spent 30 days. He said, I didn't want to go back to jail. And he says, all his friends were in prison and dead or whatever. He said, and I want to thank you for the advice that you gave to me. And he's married now. He's got a baby.
So you
and
mentored
he's got
him?
A good job. I'm sorry?
You
Yep.
mentored him?
Yeah, at the park. Oh, yeah. I tell them all. And I told one kid, you know what? I like you a lot, but I don't want to see your blood on my street. Okay. Thank you. And I said, I don't want to see the blood on you on the street. He said, why? Because of my night. I go, no, because you're a good kid, and I don't want to see a gang problem. And this young guy that he was like 60, he said, I'm their father, I'm their leader. I said, you're a bad example, and you're the one that's going to die if that's what you want to do. And I was so blessed to hear these people that are doing a lot better now. One word of encouragement can make a big difference. Well, Keith, I'm going to let you go, and I want to thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'd like to have you come back on again.
No,
It's a pleasure.
Kate?
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. Enjoyed it. Thank
And
you.
I really would like to
So-
have you back on again. When you start to run again, let me know.
We're running again.
All right.
Running a
But the
yay.
day when you start your campaigning, and you call and let me know, okay?
Thank you, and
Yeah.
it was a pleasure, and
you
thanks
too.
for the insight.
All right.
It's truly a pleasure. Have a great day.
Lose
son.
that weight.
Oh, Norm.
Oh,
Enjoy the rest of the show.
There
Thank
you go.
you.
Thank you. Well, let's talk about the event we got coming up. We got like 15 minutes left.
we can do that. So,
So we got a big event, as you know, coming
Yes,
up.
in
I've got a lot
October.
of interesting people coming in. Okay.
you,
and-
well, who are they? Because I've been working the same thing.
Yeah. Okay, I got names. I haven't got the final position on it, folks. We are having an event on October 7th at the Unitarian Universalist
Yes,
Church.
we are.
Oh, Lori, be proud of you. I remembered that. And
She'll be proud of both of us when she
right,
comes
it's going to
back.
be Healing for Healthy Paws.
Yes, it is.
Okay. And she doesn't make any money on it. I don't make any money on it. She just smacks me in the head every once in a while to get going there.
That's really not true. Norm and I go back so many years,
Yeah.
but we just refer to me as being focused.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, we'll do it that way.
We'll do it
okay?
that way.
I kid with her a lot. They'll
I
never
know.
take me. You know,
I
one of the
know.
things that we have a great community. We got a lot more people coming on board. I got my friend Jane. I've got another lady who's an artist
Oh,
coming
great. Oh, that means we
So-
could do the signage.
Right.
We could create new signs. Oh, that's
Right.
fabulous.
Yeah. So, folks, if you're interested in what we're doing with it, and now one thing that we are going to do, we are not going to be affiliated. Boy, that was a big word for me.
That's the fourth one today.
Yeah. Well, affiliated with any other organ. We're not with playing animal. I mean, what is it? What, Manchester Animal Shelter. I don't know why she's playing.
The focus of
We're just.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
The focus of Healing for Healthy Paws is to help those people whose animals are sick and it's an
I'm sorry,
emergency.
I hate to interrupt, but can we have your guest host just get a little closer to the microphone?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Just so we can have the folks at home listen to what she's
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So what we are doing, again, as I stated, this is not a program for when you're taking your pets to the vet for a shot, or we're not doing any spay neuter. We are going to be in place for those emergency issues that sometimes happen to the animals that we love. So this is an opportunity for to provide some support here in the community. So we're looking forward to going live. We're still in our planning stages. We're still working through the organization. We've been very blessed with some of the support we've had from some folks that have volunteered to work with us. Now, you said you had some more people coming in.
Yeah, I got about 7 more people coming on.
Wow.
But we need that. But they're not going to be on the board of directors. They're going to be on the, a couple are going to be on the board of directors. The rest are just going to be people who will come to the meetings and give us our ideas
I
and
like
help
that.
us to plan for the event. And one of the things that we always want is now one thing I especially want people to know, I want to do it a grooming. We are going to have that grooming.
So is that
Healing for healthy paws and grooming for
So-
paws.
So is this? Yeah, I know you kind of mentioned that to me last week when we were chatting. What's the plan to implement it though? Are we going to be looking at? I'm assuming we're looking for local talent. Or
I've already got 3 people interested.
Excellent.
And they have, folks, believe me, we don't, this is a lot of work. This is a 20, but we're doing it because we want to do it.
Right.
Okay? We know there's a lot of people out there that live in the elderly homes, or they live wherever, or an apartment, we'll say.
Right.
And the age doesn't really matter. I'm not going by your income. I can care less about the income.
And we've all had times in our lives where, especially, we've had some issues with the economy, and we want to make sure that we're able to help at a time when you do need assistance, so you can bring your pet back home to your house, and that's the only reason
That's
we're
what
in
I mean.
business.
But they also got to remember the veterinarian has to call us.
Right. And we'll have contact information
Oh, yeah.
that.
And we'll be advertising on this wonderful station here.
Yes, this wonderful
So we'll
station.
be putting it on the website here. And then we got wonderful people like Paul who will help us to promote it even more.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing I want people to understand is I'm not looking for the pat on the back, but I also, one of the things to change a little bit, if you believe in your animals, we're asking you for prayer and support. Money, we can always use the money, but more on prayer and support. Also, if you believe in this city, like I know you do and I do,
Yep.
don't be afraid to talk to people like Keith Hershman or Bill, or your alderman, or whomever, Pat
Patrick Long, who I had a conversation with last week on another issue, and I think Norm brings up a good point. Organizations like this are not the work of a small group of people. The reason they remain successful or become successful is by the folks who are in the community with us. And I know I speak for Norm. He says it about me all the time. That if you have a question about the organization that we're putting together, please reach out to one of us. If you can't reach Norm, I'm on Facebook. You can feel free to reach out to me that way. So it's Kate McCurdy, and my last name is spelled McCurdy.
Hey, you know how to spell?
I do know how to spell.
All right.
And I'm on Facebook, and you can reach me that way. So we are looking forward to having you folks in the community join us as we move forward with the organization. And by that I mean, we are having an event in October. Please drop by and see us. We'd love to meet with you.
If you're a vendor and you want to join us,
exactly, because
get a hold of her or me.
Yep.
Or Lori, my co-host.
Right, exactly,
okay.
because...
and we're all about the animals.
And we're all about the geography in which we live. The state of New Hampshire and the city of Manchester are where we live, and I'm sure we'll have some work outside in some of the surrounding communities. But we do encourage you to reach out to us if you have experience with 501c organizations. We would absolutely love to sit down and chat with you. We can do that at my home, and I promise to have some very good goodies for that meeting. But I would encourage
and Timmy
you.
will greet you.
Yes, he will. This is very exciting. It truly has been an interesting journey for Norm. I have to say that he's done 90% of the work, and putting all the paperwork together, doing all the visits.
They don't know it, folks, but on the 3rd, our committee is meeting at my son's house, and even though we're having a cookout, we're going to have a small meeting as well. So
that's
we
a
can
good
do
idea.
That, okay?
That's a very good idea.
Yeah. And folks, you know what? We listen to everything. We really do. We don't always. We may not agree on things, and and if anybody has any ideas or they want to help us, we're more than welcome to have you.
Yeah, we certainly do.
No one gets paid.
Right. That's very true. I think that's one thing for people to understand, that we are all volunteers for this 501c. As all of you know, 501c organizations are free. We have to account for our time, and we have to account for the funding that we
Once
we
I
collect.
get going, though, however, we do have to find someone who had to have the pay on there. I don't know why, but you have to get somebody. Even if it's $5 a year, still, But I wanted to be in the background and let people do the work, but they won't let me, folks. So
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
okay. I'm excited about it, okay? And as we close here, we want to thank everybody for listening to the alderman. We should have got more phone calls, but that's okay.
I hope he comes
really
back.
impressed.
I think he was.
will.
I
was
think he
very
should come
impressed
back.
with him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I say, I'm a transplant from the southern part of the state, and it's nice to know, having lived here about 10 years now, that people like him and the remainder of his team are so active in this. And this is a very big city to have to manage and to have those responsibilities.
And I have to pay kudos to my alderman, Bill Berry.
Yeah, he's
and all the other aldermen, Pat Long.
who responded to me last week.
Anybody, and I'm sure that all the aldermen, even Joe Calabas,
Exactly.
all of them will listen and respond to anything you may have to say, okay? I would recommend, if you got a complaint and you don't get the answer right away, keep on calling. Keep persisting. But make it sure it's a good, for a good reason, because they're very busy people. They all have their own life. But I kept persisting, and it pays off. I'm not saying it's because of me, they're redoing it all over, but the substation is going to look absolutely incredible when they're done with it.
That is truly public service at the core in any city. And he was absolutely fabulous today. He's very grounded. He's a realist, and I think that's very important in a city the size of Manchester.
And they don't get paid a whole lot of money like people may think they do.
That's true. They don't. That's truly community service.
And that's it. And you know what? If you have respect the area, if you don't like what's going on, that's what your aldermen are there for. But you know what? Get involved in your ward. Get involved in the city of Manchester. Get involved because it's all up to us to make it or break it.
You know, I have a question
Sure.
as we're getting ready to close for the evening. Lori Otto will be back next week.
Next week, yep.
She'll be back here next
She's
Wednesday.
on a week's vacation.
I know, and I'm hoping she's having a fabulous time.
Oh, I'm sure she is.
And I'm going to contact her about some Reiki. We
Right.
haven't got a chance to do that. But my question is, who's coming up for you for guests next week?
I
in a
don't
couple
remember.
Weeks? You don't remember?
No.
Fabulous.
I don't have my logbook.
Oh, you don't
here
have.
with me.
Okay, I should have said something.
And I don't usually, because Lori and I came to an agreement that we're not going to, because a lot of times we'll announce somebody coming on, like last week or the week before,
Right.
they didn't show up, so we have to play it by ear. Actually, Lori and I did very well, just the two of us.
I saw bits and pieces of it. I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch the whole thing, and I thought the two of you were just great. Great conversations back and forth. And that's really what Norm's show is about. We welcome people to call in and ask
Yeah.
questions.
Well, come on.
Oh, come on. Absolutely.
You're right. But, however, we will not put if you have any negative vibration or any negative things to say about anybody, we'll shut you off immediately. And if you think you're going to defame somebody, you darn well better have proof that they're whatever they're saying. But anyways, on that note, we're going to turn it over to Paul, and we want everyone to remember, have a good week, and remember, every day, you are the winner. See you next week.
And Norm, thank you very much for the
my pleasure.
opportunity.
Yep. Oh, I guess he's not ready.
He's not ready? Okay, so we could talk about, well, you know, we actually do, because if you think about it, we are all getting together next weekend.
Yeah,
I'm assuming
Monday.
that on Monday.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that the folks are coming down from Maine, that's who's coming to
Right.
Okay, so that'll give us an
I'll
opportunity.
let her know if she wants to join us.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be a great
Yeah.
idea. Is Mary
it's one of-
coming?
I'm sorry?
Is Mary coming?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great, because I
It's
haven't,
going to be one of those potluck type things.
well, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, and I like I said, I'm going to do my infamous desserts that I go to the store to buy, because as you know, my kitchen should be a shoe closet.
That kitchen, she's got a brand. Oh, we got 5 more minutes. That kitchen would be in the People's Magazine because it's never used.
That's not true. I do use it, but you know, because that's where Timmy, my dog, eats and
Right.
things like that.
But I mean the stove and the.
Well, I clean all the time, Norm.
Yeah.
You did know that. Well, you knew that about
Well,
me.
I
that
knew
I'm a
that.
clean-
Yeah, but you don't cook much.
I don't like to cook. See, I believe that room should be a shoe closet, because that's what I do best. Is I shop for shoes.
By the way, if you don't know this, you are moving from there,
That's what you keep saying.
and it looks like a double wide mobile home.
Oh, that would be.
Okay. You're going to have to learn how to cook because there's going to be days when you can't get out to get the thing or go to the buy wine supermarket there or whatever.
It's one of the things. I will clean house till I'm blue in the face. I'm always vacuuming and dusting and the like, but I really don't like to cook all that much.
I like it. Scott's a great cook.
I
He
heard
really
that.
is, you know.
Yep, I heard
And
that.
the one thing I like about with Scott and I, he does a lot of the cooking, and I can't take any credit. We managed to get a new steam vac. He's cleaned the whole house up, and he's on the floors. I am not domesticated.
Oh,
I will do it, but I do the dishes.
that's okay. That's okay.
And he likes to cook, and we take turns sharing. What we do together works well for us.
Well, see, this is the best thing about kind of being. I can get to do it when I get to do it.
Yeah.
But I do. I actually, I vacuum every day, sometimes twice a
Wait,
day.
you should see her dog's closet, folks.
Well, Timmy's, it's like having furry children.
Does he enjoy? Do you think I know that he enjoys, but does he allow you to dress him?
Oh, yeah.
That's Norm.
Okay.
Yes, he does. Actually, he gets to pick out his outfits every day. I bring a couple out. When I left today, he was wearing his shirt that said half pint dude on it.
Well, once again, folks, then we're going to turn this over to Paul. Paul is going to do the history of Manchester.
No, we're out of time, Norm. We went all the way to 6.
Oh,
Who knew?
I'm sorry.
No problem. You
Okay.
can do it again whenever you want.
Yeah. Okay, well, folks, we'll see you all next week. And don't really we're yapping so much, but have a great day. And remember, every day you are the winner.
Enjoy.